Walter Overcallaghan, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. As always, we'll be crossing over to Manchester to join Martin Logan, who's out and about once again with the Irish community right across the UK.
We're here at the Pope Francis Plaza in Knock for the annual Mayo Roscommon Hospice Shine a Light campaign and tree lighting ceremony, remembering loved ones living and deceased, and also helping to raise funds for vital palliative care services.
Angelina, we're here in Knock and your final preparations for your annual Shine a Light for Hospice.
That's correct, Henry. Yeah, this year is very different. I don't think I need to tell anyone that, well aware of it at this stage. This time last year, we were lighting our tree and it coincided with our memorial walk. We had about 600 people here in the Pope Francis Plaza in Knock. That's obviously not possible this year. We're lighting on the 29th of November, so level 5 restrictions are still in place even for a few days more. So it prevented us having a large gathering, but we wanted to make people feel involved from afar, and this Shine a Light ceremony is always such a very poignant occasion for lots of people, so we wanted to make sure that they felt that even from their own homes, and that's what we're doing this evening. So this evening is about doing that. In the lead up to this, we have had our special Shine a Light for Hospice candles on sale. We launched it at the Basilica in Knock a few weeks ago with Father Richard Gibbons, and people have bought those candles and they will light them at about 6:30 this evening to remember loved ones, living or deceased. And especially this year, I think we have people who might be going through very difficult times because of the pandemic, and it's about remembering all of those people and sharing in our ceremony from afar. So the evening itself, the ceremony will be short enough. It's all being broadcast live on our Facebook page and people will be able to look back on it afterwards, but it will comprise of some short speeches, but a lot of poetry that will resonate, I think, with people this evening because of the year we've had. So we have our CEO Martina Jennings, who I know you'll be speaking with, the chairman of our board Mike Smith, we have Father Richard Gibbons officiating, our family therapist Laura Coleman is here this evening, and we have the beautiful tones of John McNichol accompanied by Michael Cunningham. So it's going to be a really special, short but special evening.
John, you're lending your support here for the Shine a Light campaign for hospice here in Knock.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great honour and pleasure for me to be here as well, and I spent a lot of time in Knock, so it's nice and to be sharing in this lovely evening as well to mark the occasion of all the people that have passed on with cancer and stuff, and for the hospice. And the team here are just a fabulous team, and to be involved in this evening, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Yeah. Now, you're performing at the event here this evening. What songs have you chosen?
Yeah, the two songs I've chosen this evening one is called Remember Me. It's a song about remembering people that have passed on, and it's a beautiful, I suppose a sad song, but a nice song for the occasion as well. And the other one is When a Child is Born, and I chose that one because of the first line, a ray of hope. And I think this year especially, all of us need a bit of hope and everything else along the way, but most importantly hope as well, and please God that things get better for everyone out there.
And you'll be very familiar with the work of Mayo Roscommon Hospice over the years, because you have a great association here with Knock anyway.
Absolutely, and the team that work in the hospice as well, they're just incredible. The gang here, they're so a very close-knit community as well, and I think the work they have done in developing the hospice, the first hospice in Mayo, I believe, as well, and the incredible fundraising they have done along the way and over the years, it's incredible, and I think Mayo has the ability of being that even from back in the airport days as well. The community get together and they kind of lend their support greatly for things like this that benefit everybody in the community, and I think that's a wonderful thing for any county, and Mayo is very strong. Fair play to everybody involved, and I'm looking forward to performing the songs and thinking of everybody and wishing them a very happy Christmas as well, and please God 2021's a better year for all of us, and thank you all.
Whenever you're afraid, and when you lose your dreams along the way, anytime you feel like you can't make it through, remember me and I will be with you. Every night
Martina, this is a very special ceremony, particularly for all those who passed away in 2020.
Oh, it really is, Henry, and including the people that passed away in 2019 as well, because traditionally every year in both counties we would have remembrance services for the people who passed away in the service the year before, for their families and friends and loved ones, and it just wasn't possible this year. So this evening was very special, and it was very important to us that those people knew we were thinking about them and we were remembering their loved ones. And we were also thinking of the palliative care teams who looked after them. I mean, to me, they have been the real heroes of this year. They've been on the front line. They've continued to provide this service, this absolutely vital service. And they've done it with such resilience and such courage and such good humour. They have brought the same quality service to everybody they've looked after, regardless of the pandemic and regardless of all the restrictions it brought with it. To them, the most important person was the patient and their family, and we're so proud of them. And we're very privileged to be able to raise funds for a service this important.
It's been a very difficult year for the palliative services, hasn't it, throughout Roscommon and Mayo?
Yeah, nobody could have written how this year went. I mean, we were here this time last year. We had about 600 people here in the plaza in Knock. Beautiful atmosphere, poignant as well, but everybody getting to talk to everyone afterwards, and nobody would have guessed that we would have been doing it virtually this year. On the 12th of March, we closed all our shops. At that stage, they were closed for 12 weeks, and there was a lot of sleepless nights between myself and the board and the staff. But we've a great board. We've a great board of directors who trust myself and trust the staff to get on with it. And we had to think differently. There's a cliche of thinking outside the box. We had to think outside the box. We had to move everything online. We had to replace that income that wasn't coming from our shops. We've lost over 700,000 through the closure of our shops this year. And people got behind us. And people like the Roscommon football team, like the cyclists from Swinford, like Eloise from Kilmovee, they all got stepped up to the mark. And people learned how to donate virtually as well. People learned how to go to hospice.ie and donate money. And every single cent, 100% of everything that was fundraised for us this year, despite the shops being closed, went towards the palliative care service and went towards the build of our Roscommon Hospice. And I suppose that was another nightmare we were faced with in January. We had just awarded the contract for the build of Roscommon, and it was a big decision to make to go ahead with it. But we have great faith in the people that support us, and we did go ahead with it. And I'm delighted to say it's halfway up now. The windows and doors will be in by the end of next week, and it will be finished in July 21. So, the year could have been an awful lot worse. We still managed to fund the service. Our palliative care teams and Laura, our family therapist, looked after more patients than ever before this year. So I can't thank people enough.
How important is the Shine a Light hospice event for you?
So the Shine a Light campaign traditionally doesn't just comprise of this evening, and this evening would happen every year kind of on the first Sunday in December, or whenever that falls around, like the end of November this year. The Shine a Light campaign runs right throughout Christmas, so we light the tree this evening, but the lights will shine on the tree for people who have sponsored lights with our Shine a Light cards or our virtual tree online. So taking the candles out of it, those cards are available in local pharmacies and in local outlets from our office on our website throughout the Christmas season. And the lights shine for those people right throughout the Christmas period. So that's very important. It culminates then in the ecumenical service, which happens on the third Sunday in January, usually in St John's Rest and Care Centre. We will have to have a virtual one this year, obviously, as well. And people will see the names for whom the lights have shone throughout Christmas are entered into a book of remembrance, and they view that book, and we have a beautiful ecumenical service on that Sunday comprising, of all denominations, and they can then view the book is blessed, and they can view the names of those loved ones on that in that ceremony. So it runs right throughout Christmas, but it's vitally important. It raised over 55,000 last year for hospice, and this year will be different because not as many people were able to get out and about, so we did have to kind of engage the digital side of things with everything this year. But even with the Shine a Light ceremony, like the virtual ceremony this evening, and live streaming it and putting the cards for sale on our website, because people aren't going to pharmacies, they're worried, and they're not visiting places or out and about as as much. So it's been different, but we hope, and we've had a great uptake and a great support for it. We hope that people will buy into it and engage with it very much again this year.
Well, you have a very busy evening this evening because you're acting as MC as well for the event this evening.
Yeah, but it's lovely. It's a lovely evening to be a part of, and even though it'll be very different this year, I can already feel that lovely feeling of people, being engaged with it and joining in. So we will be connecting with them from afar, and it's a beautiful evening, and it always is. And this year, hopefully, people will find, despite it being different, will be no different in the fact that it captures kind of going into the Christmas season, but remembering people in a special way that have had a tough time or who've passed away, and we hope to do that this evening.
Now, you're the fundraising manager and communications manager for Hospice, Mayo Roscommon Hospice. It must have been a very, very difficult year for you when it comes to fundraising.
Absolutely, Henry. Look, for every charity, and there's no cause that hasn't been affected by this, and we're very aware of that. Very difficult because all on-street fundraising stopped. It stopped dead in its tracks in March, and actually March and April of this year were due to be extremely busy for us with face-to-face fundraisers and community events, but that wasn't possible this year, so they came to a halt. Now, I have to say, on the other side of that, we've had really, really good people who have come up with, very simple and very ingenious ideas to raise money for us virtually. And it meant an awful lot to us, the way they did it. But no, there was no Sunflower Day fundraising. There was no coffee morning in the traditional sense, although people did drive-through coffees. So the big events were gone straight away, and the community events were gone straight away. And that was very difficult for us. But as I said, people, there's a goodness in people, I think, and in Irish people especially, and they came good when we needed them.
Michael, you're very welcome to the programme. This is your first opportunity to be at the Shearer Light campaign for Mayo Roscommon here at Knock.
That's right, yeah. We came in this year as chairman, and this is my first one here to be, and it's completely different apparently than what the other ones were like over the last few years. That you had 800 or 900 people here, I believe, last year and the year before, in a great atmosphere. But because of the circumstances we are in 2020, it's all gone virtual now at the moment, but still there's a great atmosphere here today. The sentiments of all the people you can feel it here, even though there's a small crowd here, but it's great. And it's great to be here, to be honest with you.
And Michael, you pay tribute to all the support groups, everybody involved in Mayo Roscommon, and the tremendous work they're doing under the circumstances with COVID-19.
Absolutely. We have over, if you take 27 years of the foundation of the hospice, the amount of effort and money that has been collected. We now have in the process of opening our second hospice in Roscommon next June, July, hopefully. We have the one in Castlebar up and running, 14 bedrooms. We'll have the 7 in Roscommon, and that in itself is in excess of 20 million. And that has all been done solely and totally by fundraising, and in particular done by we have major sponsors, but in particular our local volunteers, our support group, and they are the bread and butter of the foundation. And it's going to be a theme of my chairmanship over the next couple of years, that we can, as a directors and as a board, that we support those groups and fundraisers and help them out as much as we can, and give the backup from our office here in Knock. But they have been the bread and butter. They have the guys that have, the young kids that have offered up their pocket money, people who were walking forward, walking backwards, running, cycling, swimming, jumping, you name it, and they've donated, whether from €5, from €1 up to whatever. But again, we have also our big major donors as well, and they're fantastic. And they have really got us over the big lump in getting Castlebar and hopefully Roscommon opened in next June.
You come in as a chairperson, a very difficult time for the organisation. Going forward now, where would you like to see Mayo Roscommon going forward now?
Well, going forward, we get the first priority is to get Roscommon up and running, and provide the facility there. The most important thing, there is a little bit of an atmosphere around the place. I feel that to think that once we've got the 2 hospices built, that's it.
Yes, but that's the danger.
That's the danger,
yeah.
And it's not really. We have to provide finance for our palliative care teams. They also, while we have their beds in Roscommon and Castlebar, we also have to keep providing the services in the community, and that is very, very important. So there is a huge amount of work to be done, and as I say, we just hope that people don't all of a sudden think that
it's done.
It's done, and it's far from it. Unfortunately, since my involvement in on the board for the last 8 or 9 years, the numbers every single year have increased. So cancer doesn't go away, unfortunately. And as I said, as Martina might have spoke earlier, we cater for a lot more than just cancer victims as well.
Father Richard, you kindly made the Pope Francis Plaza available for the Mayo Roscommon Shearer Light campaign, as you did last year as well. Very important for you, I presume, for Knock as well.
Absolutely. It's intricate with Knock. Mayo Roscommon Hospice, it has its headquarters here, and we're delighted that they are here because it's a suitable place for it, and we work quite closely with Martina and her staff up there. And every year it kind of kicks off the preparation, the countdown to Christmas. So we're delighted to be able to come here. I'm thrilled every year to come and say a prayer, along with a number of other people that wouldn't be here, like Reverend Molly Detteridge and several others that would have been normally here.
It's can I tell you about Knock itself? Being parish priest here, obviously a very difficult year for you, and the many thousands of people that like to come to Knock every year.
Absolutely, it's been a non-year really, like everywhere else. We had a bit of a respite during the middle of the summer when people had to stay at home in the country. And so we got quite a lot of visitors then, but only a fraction of what we'd normally get. But we were still delighted to see them because it was life. There was life in the area, and people were coming in, young families and all of that. But it has been, of course, financially with everybody else. It has been really a bit of a disaster, but people are good. We don't get grants or anything, so people are good with giving donations and that kind of thing. So that kind of keeps us, hopefully, we keep it together until next year. And 2021, you never know, Henry, what might happen.
Laura, you recited a lovely poem here at the ceremony this evening here in Knock.
Yeah, it's called Lie Low to the Wall. It's from the book To Bless the Space Between Us. It's just a lovely idea of, especially with COVID and all that's been going on, because we can't be together, we just can't, and it wasn't happening. So that book has loads of little poems in it like that, about bringing people together when they're not able to be together.
Now, your role with Mayo Roscommon Hospice, Laura.
So my profession is I'm a psychologist, but I'm the family therapist with the hospice. And so I've been working with the hospice now nearly 18 years, and it's been great. I love the work. It's tough work, it's hard work, because I'd be going in and out of people's houses and I'd nearly become part of the family, and then we lose people, and I've gotten very close to the people and the families, and then I'd support the families afterwards, after the patient had died. So I'd have kind of two roles really. I'd be working with the patient at some stages if the patient is finding it hard to accept the fact that their life is ending, and then I'd work with the families and support afterwards when they need it.
Did you find, because of COVID-19, that demand on your services was even more?
It has escalated. I don't have working hours at the minute. My first person on Monday morning is at 8 o'clock, and I was there on Friday night at 10 o'clock. And it's not that I'm working all day every day, but I'm working. Definitely seeing twice the number of patients that I've had up until now, and twice the number of families. With COVID, it's just been an extra stress for them, and I've tried the best I can to support them. We had a family where there was a bereavement, and one of the sons was in America, the other daughter was in England, and then there was 4 here, and we did a Zoom family therapy session. We actually did 3 of them, and it was very helpful for that family to work through stuff that hadn't been worked through with the parent before they died. So we've learned skills that I never thought I'd need, but it's working. And we use WhatsApp as well if I need to. We can do a 2 or 3 way link with that as well, and it's just bringing people together again as best we can, doing what we have to do, and doing it needs must at this stage. Our service is considered an essential service naturally, so I can see people face to face, but I do that as little as possible because obviously of COVID. But I am seeing some people who just would be very troubled or really struggling. I'd see them face to face.
And does that make it harder for you to do your job then because of COVID?
Naturally. Anybody that's doing a lot of Zoom work, I know a lot of people are working from home, but anybody that's doing a lot of Zoom work, it's energy-wise, it just takes more. It just takes a lot more energy. But it is what it is, and this is the job that I want to do, so I'm intending to stay with it. Yeah, good. As best I can.
Well, we wish you well with it, Lauren. Thanks very much for joining us on the programme.
Thanks a million. Thanks very much for all your support.
It can't do Mayo Roscommon hospice any harm, knowing that you have a president-elect coming into the White House and who's a great supporter of Mayo Roscommon Hospice, Joe Biden?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were all rooting for President-elect Biden. He came and turned the sod in our hospice in 2017, thanks to his cousin Larita Blewett, who does fantastic work for us. And it wasn't just the relationship, their familial relationship. They formed a close bond, both Larita and the President-elect, and he promised her he would do this. And we are so delighted that we have somebody in the White House now that comes from a place of decency and respect, and his values his values are all about what we're about. So we look forward to welcoming sometime over the next 4 years. We will be delighted to show him what we finished, and that we started that hospice in the following January, I think, after he turned the sod, and it's built and will be open now in January.
And just one other thing, Martina, people are watching this programme and that say, well, look, we'd like to do something for Mayo Roscommon. What would you say to them?
Oh, I would beg people, and I have no shame in saying that, because I know where your money is going. Please go to hospice.ie. Please donate to this service. We will look after over 1,020 patients this year. Every single cent you donate to us will go directly towards that service, looking after those patients and their families and the build of our hospices. Or call the office on 09493 88666, and you can get talking to one of the staff there and they'll help you as well. But please continue to support us. Please continue to come up with the virtual fundraisers. They have been amazing this year, and this is the way life is going to be now. The Shine of Lights have all gone online this year. Our Christmas cards have sold out online, which is fantastic. I want to say a special word though to our support groups this year and our volunteers. Our support groups have been there for 27 years, 28 years at this stage, and without them there wouldn't be a palliative care service. And I know they haven't had the contact with us this year, and we haven't had the contact with them, and we've missed them. And this will pass. This pandemic will pass, and we will be back to them next year, and I will get to see them. And myself and Mike Smith, our new chairperson you're going to hear from, have vowed and promised that we will go and visit each support group. But we're also asking for a new generation of support groups and a new generation of volunteers to come behind us. The palliative care service doesn't just look after cancer patients, it looks after patients that have motor neuron, multiple sclerosis, COPD, all these illnesses that don't just affect the family, they affect everybody in the family, and nobody knows when it's going to come to their door. So, please help us, and our nurses will help you.
Well done to Martina and all her team there at Mayo Roscommon Hospice, and indeed the vital work that they do every day. Now, if you'd like more information, don't forget, just contact Mayo Roscommon Hospice. Details are coming up on your screen. So until next week, slán go fóill.